There's a question just that's come on the Facebook by Yogesh Nimawat, India. If fasting has so many benefits, then why don't you Muslims fast for the entire year? Why only 1 month in a year? It's a very good question. If fasting has so many benefits, why don't you fast the entire year? Why only 1 month? If you have heard my talk in the second session of this Ramadan with Dr. Zakir, I said that fasting is like overhauling once a year of the complete body of the human being. It is like servicing, like how if you have a vehicle, you have to service once a year, once in 6 months. So fasting is like servicing. So, and everyone knows that servicing is good for the car. If I say, okay, servicing is good, then why don't you keep on servicing every day? And people will start laughing. So fasting is the overhauling of the body. So that's why once a month, for 1 full month, there are various medical benefits. But if you do it throughout the year, it will not be beneficial. And the Prophet said it is haram to fast all the days of the year. Yes, you can fast twice a week, on Mondays and Thursday, it's a sunnah. The maximum you can fast is every alternate day. But fasting every day is prohibited. It will not be beneficial for the body. That's the reason Muslims don't fast every day of the year. But fasting once a month has got maximum medical benefits. Then after that, if you want more, you can fast twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, and the other optional fast, whether it be of Shawwal, whether it be of Muharram, whether it be of Arafah, the Hajj fast, etc. Another question from Muhammad Muhsin, again on the Facebook. Is zakat obligatory on the money that is given to others on debt? If you have given a loan to your friend, that money is your money, you own it. Even though it's a loan, you will get sawab for giving loan, but he doesn't have to give zakat on that money because that doesn't belong to him, it belongs to you. So if you have given loan to anyone as a Qarz Hasan, then you have to pay 2.5% zakat on that money. But if you feel that the loan you have given to your friend or to your colleague, there are less chances he'll give it back to you, it's called as unsecured loan. So in such unsecured loan, if you feel the money may not come back, and if you don't give zakat, no problem. But the moment you get it back, you have to give zakat of all the backlog years. For example, if you get the money after 5 years, you have to give zakat for all the 5 years. 5 into 2.5%, you have to give 12.5%. But if it's a secured loan and you know you're going to get it, then you have to give every year because it's your property. And this is the beauty of Islam, that the person who's taking, it's not his money, but the person who's giving, it's his asset, it's his saving. So let the person give zakat, the person who owns that money. The next question. Dr. Mir Taimur Hamid, Pakistan. In my country, mosques are open and the government is instructing to take precautions to maintain social distancing. My question is, since coronavirus is still spreading outside and chances of spreading are still there, if one goes to the mosque for prayer, can I offer my prayers and Jummah at home until the spread of the disease is minimized? Can I miss my Jummah and daily prayers in the mosque in this situation? It's a very important question, and let me tell you that never in the history of Islam has it ever happened in the past that majority of the mosques throughout the world have been closed like now. Maybe 75%, more than 75% of the world, the mosques are closed because of this coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic. But if, and I know there are certain countries which haven't closed the mosques, and many parts of Pakistan I'm aware that the mosques haven't been closed and the government has permitted. What should you do in such a case? First, let me tell you that it is the duty of, if it's an Islamic country, it is the duty of that country that if they have come to know that there is a pandemic, there is an epidemic, and there are chances that people can get infected, it can be dangerous. So the best that Islamic country should do is they should ask the person who's knowledgeable in that field. As Quran says, Fas'alu ahli zikri in kuntum la ta'lamun. In Surah Nahl, chapter 16 of 43. They should take the advice of the health authorities. At the same time, consult the fuqahas, the muftis of the country. And they should have a joint meeting. And that's what was very well done in Malaysia. In Malaysia, they had a very good meeting where they call all the health specialists, they call the muftis of all the states and the Islamic scholars, and they discussed. And based on the pros and cons, they decided that shutting down the mosque and preventing the public to pray in the mosque in general, it will cause more damage, and they close the mosque, irrespective whether the individual agrees or not. Whether I agree or not in the Islamic thing, if the Muslim country, taking into consideration the fuqahas and the medical authorities, if they say that no one should pray in the mosque, then we should follow the rules, except most of the countries have said that 2 or 3 people make the Jamaat so that the Jamaat continues in the mosque. But if an Islamic country and the government and the ruler, in consultation with the fuqahas and the medical authorities, if they give this, whether a Muslim agrees or not, he should follow it. What I don't agree, that those countries in which coronavirus hasn't come yet, no one has died, or maybe 2 or 3 people are infected, they are closing without any consultation. This is not correct. I don't agree that everywhere in the world all the mosques should be closed. If the coronavirus hasn't entered your country, or only very few people are infected, and you know that no one has died, and if you feel to take, you can take a lot of precaution before shutting down the mosque completely. And in this case, just because the other Muslim countries are doing it, we should do it. If a non-Muslim country gives an order, the mosque should be closed, we as Muslims should obey the law of the country. Especially it is in consultation with the medical authorities. So even in a non-Muslim country, if the country gives an order that the mosque should be closed, and we know that the Muslim country is also closing mosques, then you as a Muslim living in a non-Muslim country should obey the law of the country. But there are certain countries in which coronavirus hasn't entered, no cases, or maybe few are infected, no one has died, and then they are doing it. I have my reservation. You can always have a meeting, and there can be various steps before you close down the mosque. For example, you can take precaution, and same answer goes to this brother, that if the country has not closed down the mosque, and I said you take precaution yourself, then according to me, praying in the mosque becomes the fard. According to all the scholars, praying in the mosque, the 5 times salah is fard. According to some scholars like Imam Adhabi, they say that if you don't pray in congregation 5 times salah in the mosque without a valid reason, it is a major sin, ghunaya kabira, sin number 65. And there are other scholars also who have said that it's a major sin if you do not pray in the mosque regularly without a valid reason. What I would suggest in such cases, before closing down the mosque, there are various other options, especially if there is very few cases and no one has died, or very few people have died. Number one should be that every Muslim should get his own sajjada. Because if you are praying in the sajjada, the carpet of the mosque, someone else has prayed before, the person while doing sujood, he breathes in, breathes out, high chances that if anyone is infected, you can get infected. Number one is, if a Muslim is infected, it is haram for him to go to the mosque. When you have onion, when you have garlic, you should not go to the mosque. So where is the question of going to the mosque when you have an infectious disease? So if you have an infectious disease, it is haram for you to go to the mosque. If you are infected with the COVID-19, stay at home, pray at home, inshallah you will get an equal sawab, you have a valid reason. If you have not got infected and the mosques are open, like in Pakistan and some other country like in Yemen and other countries, then advisable is that you should go, you can take your precaution, and before closing the mosque, these countries should take precaution. Number one is get your own sajjada, your own prayer mat, so that someone who has come before should not infect you. Number two, please don't shake hands with your other Muslim brothers, the women amongst women and men amongst men, do not. Number three, don't scratch your nose or rub your eyes or touch your face. Why? Because if your hand touches a place which has got this virus, you should not infect yourself. So see to it you don't scratch your face, don't touch your face, very important. Number four, there can be hand sanitizers kept, so that if you fear something has happened, you can always sanitize your hand. So these precautions. There are gadgets available which even sanitize the whole body. You have to go through it, stay for a few seconds, there are some fumes coming, it sanitizes you. This can be done. There are various precautions. You can wear a mask and go to the mosque. And if you fear it's very high, since it's not obligatory and a fard for the woman to pray in the mosque, and most of the Gulf countries and many other countries, women go to the mosque and they constitute maybe 20% of the musalli, some 15%, some 25%. You can always tell them not to come, because for the woman to pray in the mosque is not fard. So you can tell women should not come to the mosque, no problem. Furthermore, if you feel that there is a little more danger, you can say, like some countries have done that, Turkey has done that, that all those above the age of 65, they should not come out. You can also say that don't come to the mosque, because people above the age of 65 have got high chances of getting infected, and when they get infected, the immunity is low, high chances of the mortality rate. You can always ask the musalli to reduce the time in the mosque by less than half by doing wudu at home. You can ask the musalli, the Muslims, to pray the sunnah salah at home. Praying sunnah is not required to pray in the mosque. The sunnah before the fard salah, the sunnah after the fard salah, and many a time the sunnah occupies more time than the fard salah. So pray the sunnah at home. So if you, and you can take many other precautions. So if you fear that the pandemic is not very high and the curve is not very high, the mosque can be kept open and take the precaution, take as much precaution as possible. There are more precautions that you can take. If you feel they're going to be detrimental to the people, and if the authorities have a consultation with the fuqahas, with the scholars and with the medical authorities and close the mosque, then Muslims should not go and pray in the mosque. But as for this question, this brother asked, I want to be safe. You want to be safe? Then do the things I told you. Take your sajjada, wash your hands, don't shake hands, don't scratch your face, don't touch your face, do wudu at home, pray sunnah at home, wear a mask can go, no problem. But if you say I will not go because you are afraid, it's totally wrong. It is not Islamic. Because the Muslim believes that whatever happens will happen with the qadr of Allah. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad said, tie your camel and trust in God. You have to tie a camel, but don't strangulate your camel. When there is no need to close the mosque, COVID-19 hasn't entered your country, no one has died and you want to close the mosque. You're not tying your camel, you are strangulating your camel. Once you strangulate the camel, then how can you ask Allah to help the camel? So, if they consult with the medical authorities, and if they say it's required, then you can do it. If the government has specifically said, we will not close down the mosque, it is fard, you should pray your 5 times salah in the mosque, and even your Jummah salah in the mosque. Hope that answers the question. The next question, in this current situation, should we give priority to give our zakat to poor people or to give our zakat to a Dawah training academy? As you know, both are important in the eyes of Allah. How should I prioritize donating my money considering the current scenario? As far as zakat is concerned, you can give zakat to any of these 8 categories mentioned in the Quran in Surah Tawbah, chapter number 9, verse number 60. The first is fuqara, that's the poor people. The second is masakin, that is the needy. The third is amilun, those who are involved in collecting of the zakat. The fourth is muallafatu wal qulub, those whose hearts are coming towards Islam. Here can be the non-Muslim coming to Islam and for dawah purposes. Number 5, it can be a gharimun, the debtor. It can be raqab, that means freeing a slave. The 7th can be a wayfarer, a traveler. And the 8th is fi sabilillah. Any of these 8 categories you give, zakat is accepted. Each individual, each Muslim may think, okay, here the more priority is given to the poor. Some may think it's more priority is given to the needy. Someone will say, I will remove the debt of a Muslim. Whichever of the 8 he gives, zakat is accepted. Zakat can also be given to a dawah organization in the category of muallafat wal qulub as well as fi sabilillah. Which is more important? Both are important, as you rightly said. But when you see around us that most of the people, they give to the poor people, and I agree that giving to the poor people for the food, for survival is more important than the other categories. But if majority of the people are giving in the fuqara category, and dawah is not being done, and you feel that you want more dawah to be done in your locality, if you give to a dawah organization, it is preferable. If you feel that dawah is not required, then give to a poor person. But if you feel that dawah is lacking, then I would give maybe to both, but the majority portion to a dawah organization and less of my portion to the fuqara. So depending upon the situation, which part of the world you're living in, what is the more priority, though fuqara may be more important, but majority of the people give to the poor. So if you feel there is a lack of dawah being done in your city, in your country, and it has to be done so that more people will come to the fold of Islam, then at that time, depending upon the situation, you can give to a dawah organization, otherwise to the poor people. The next question, my name is Tariq Bakr. I am an Indian and resident of Qatar. My question is, my daughter is 12 years of age. Can she be an imam for the fard prayers in Taraweeh? Regarding a girl of the age of 12, can she be imam for the fard prayers of a Taraweeh? As long as the congregation is exclusively only of ladies, only of women, of girls, ladies and women, it is permissible. But a woman cannot be an imam of a mixed gathering, of a mixed congregation of male and female. It is prohibited. And there are various hadith, even the hadith of Hazrat Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, Ummatul Mu'mineen, may Allah be pleased with her, that it says in the Sahih hadith that she led the salah. But while a woman is leading salah, in the gents, normally the first row stands behind the imam. In the woman, the first row stands in line with the imam when she is a woman. And even the age is not the criteria. It's not a fard that the imam should be an adult. As long as the person reciting, who is the imam, knows the Quran well, knows how to recite, knows the rules and regulations of salah, she can even lead fard salah exclusively for the lady congregation. She can even read Taraweeh. And my daughters, mashallah, they every Ramadan they conduct Taraweeh, and they are the imam exclusively for the women Jama. And my son does in the gents and sometimes in mixed gathering. So it's permissible as long as the gathering exclusively of the women. The next question from Afia, India. Is COVID-19 a punishment from Allah or is it a test? If it's a punishment, then what new sins have we done in this era which even our ancestors haven't done, that has made Allah angry with us? Let me first tell you the basic guideline and outline, that whenever there is a calamity, whether it be an epidemic, whether it be a pandemic, whether it be floods, whether it be rains, whether it be an earthquake, any calamity, it can either be a punishment or it can be a test. If the people are sinful, then most probably this is a punishment for them. In that same area, there may be people who are very good, who are very pious, who may be praying 5 times a day, may be following the ahkam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet, and even they are affected. So in such cases, if you are on the straight path and are not doing any sins, then this calamity, it's a test for you. So at the same time, that same calamity can be a punishment for some people, can be a test for some people. If you are on the straight path, it's a test, and Allah is testing you, that if Allah is giving you difficulties, yet do you worship Allah or not? Yet do you thank Allah or not? So these calamities are a reminder to us to get you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it can be both. So you yourself can decide whether this calamity is a punishment or a test. If you are far away from the deen, if you are breaking the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and our Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you are away from the sunnah, then be sure this is a punishment. If you are on the straight path, you are offering 5 times salah, you have given the zakat, you are fasting, you are following the 5 pillars and all the ahkam of the Quran, then rest assured that this is a test for you. And as the beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it's mentioned in Sahih Bukhari, volume number 7, hadith number 5734. Hazrat Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, the wife of the Prophet, said that the Prophet said that Allah has sent the plague as a punishment on whom He wishes amongst the unbelievers. But for the believers, it is a blessing. And if the believers remain in that affected place of plague with sincere faith and agreeing that whatever happens will happen with the will of Allah, and having faith in the qadar, then he will get the reward of a martyr. This is mainly for plague, but can be extended to other diseases as far as the reward is concerned. Regarding a question, yes, it can be a punishment, it can be a test. Regarding a question, that what new things have we done in this age that Allah has sent this calamity? I mean, I believe the world every day is going far and far away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's going more and more further away. And you see what was in the past, today is something different. The fayashi is increasing, the obscenity is increasing, the zina is increasing, homosexuality is increasing, and you see that there are many of the signs of the Akhir Zama. On my Facebook, if you go, I am doing the signs of the ends of the world. And there are 3 sections to it. There's the minor signs and the major signs. The minor signs are divided into minor signs that have already occurred and minor signs that have not yet occurred for the end of the world. I finished the minor signs that have already occurred and minor signs that have not occurred. Inshallah, after Ramadan, I'll continue with the major signs of the end of the world, and there are 10 major signs which have got sub-signs in it. And as the hadith says that there will be time when women would be clothed but would appear naked. They'll wear clothes, but actually they'll not be wearing clothes. You know, and you find now today people, the ladies wearing dresses, they are so short, most of the body seen, they were transparent and all these things. So there is so much of fayash, there's so much of obscenity, there's so much of, and it's become more public. Previously, yes, maybe it was done on an individual level, it was done on a society level, but not in all over the world. Today, you can see on the television channels, you can see on the social media, you can see on the Facebook, you can see on the YouTube. So it has increased to epidemic level, or pandemic level, because all the social media is available throughout the world. Therefore, I'm saying pandemic level. And we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may He keep away from all these major sins and also the minor sins, and save us from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and let us have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and let this be a test for us so that we come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Next question from Ibrahim, Kenya. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Zakir. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is it permissible for a Muslim man to be intimate with his wife during the night? Also, due to cold weather, we avoid ablution and decide to do tayammum to pray Salatul Fajr. Is that allowed? Thank you, Jazakallah khair wa yakum. As far as is it permissible for a Muslim man to be intimate with his wife during the night? Allah says in the Quran in Surah Baqarah chapter 2 verse number 187, Hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahunna. You are the garments, you are the garments of your wife, and the wives are your garments. And the verse continues that Allah knows and has permitted you that you can have sexual intercourse, you can approach the wife at night during Ramadan. Previously the rule was that during the whole of Ramadan, whether day or night, you cannot have any sexual intercourse with your wife. But later on, when this verse was revealed, it was permissible that during the night time, when a person is not fasting in the month of Ramadan, you can approach your wife, and this is the rahmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is permissible. Regarding the second question, that can you do tayammum if it's very cold weather and it's cold water, so can you do tayammum? It's clearly mentioned in Surah Ma'idah chapter number 5 verse number 6 that prepare yourself, when you prepare yourself for prayers, you have to wash your face and the hands up to the elbow, rub your head with water and wash your feet, etc. And it continues and says that if you cannot find water, then you can take, and if you are in ceremonial impurity